All right, so I don't know if you like my joke or not. It's pretty terrible actually, but I like it. So my joke today says, "Where does a Christmas tree sit on the number line?" It sits between a Christmas 2 and a Christmas 4. You get it? That's like really bad, right? I don't know. I just always like to have some kind of joke here on the first slide while we're waiting on everybody to get in. I don't know why I do. I just do. Anyway, um, so again, you got to be paying attention to what your grade looks like in your grade book. Okay, 4 weekly reviews you need to be looking at. There was a 928 exit ticket, Unit 2 quiz 1, Unit 2 quiz 2, Unit 2 quiz 3, graded classwork from 11-3, and the Unit 2 test. Now, what I've been doing recently, last week and this week, because I want to take you to take really seriously the just frankly doing the classwork, doing what you need to do, is I've been putting some points on that affect your average on all the daily practice and all of the Nearpods I'm doing. Okay. So you need to look and see what your grade on a Nearpod is and go back and do it. Now, the one that you did in live, those of y'all who are doing in a live lesson, I'm checking your slides, this evening or tomorrow and putting in the grade for that. But if you're noticing you don't have a grade, or if you did, I don't know, only got half of it done, and I don't know, you had to go to the bathroom in the middle of class or something, I don't know, right? Then there's another one that's posted that you can do on your own later, okay, in terms of if you need to go back and do it more fully, right? Watch the live lesson again and do the whole thing, whatever you need to do. But just understand you can go back and fix it and do it like correctly to get the full points. I don't have a problem with that. All right. Just I wouldn't be wasting any points on something that you should be getting for free by doing your work. Right. Class is tough enough without wasting points on something easy. All right. So here's the Nearpod code. I had to change it. I don't know why it keeps changing the code on the live one. I had one, but then I relaunch it and it gives me a different code. Okay. So log into this live one right here, and then we'll change over to the Nearpod slides. I'll get over. Let me get over here. It'll be on there. All right. So let me type it. I'll type it in the chat thing here. So this is the Nearpod code you need, US 84N. Okay. Get logged into that. Take just a minute. Join.nearpod.com. All right. And I'm sure that by now you understand how the Nearpods work and that I can see exactly what you wrote on the screen. So there's no faking me out in terms of you actually doing it. Okay. And then for those of you watching the lesson video, there's a link in the Canvas module and the weekly checklist to do for a self-paced one. Okay. All right. But if you're in class, I prefer you to be on the one I'm on right here. Now I haven't started anything you have to write yet. So if you're still getting logged in, that's fine. So today we're working on the part of the standards we're on today is plotting rational numbers on number lines and ordered pairs on the coordinate plane. Really, we're still just on the rational numbers on number lines part today. Okay, rational numbers meaning, fractions and decimals kind of thing. Okay, not just the whole numbers and their opposites, so whole numbers and their opposites is integers. And again, right here, comparing and ordering rational numbers. Okay. Now, I want to say one more thing here before I get going on this, as people are getting logged in. Just to make sure you're clear on what I was expecting for the practice yesterday, right? It's not really that complicated if you actually read what I said, but I'm going to say it anyway. All right. Okay. So the deal is that I gave you some practice on recognizing different integer thingies. Okay. And like what they mean in situations and so forth. And what I said is that you need to do it as many times as it takes for you to get over 80%. You could do it 14 times if you had to, but I'm not putting down that you got credit until you get over 80%. Now, I request that you do it one time before watching the video of me going over it. But after that, you can watch the video of me going over it and then go back and do it again. Okay. And so there's no reason you shouldn't get that. Why am I doing it that way? Because one of the things with the integers is the more you see them in different contexts, the more you're going to get it. So sometimes it takes people literally one time. Some people it'll take 2 or 3 times. So I'm just telling you that when you're looking at the practice for 1114, that's what it is. You either have 20 points because you've made an 80 or above in progress learning, or you do not. Okay. And if you try it and you haven't gotten an 80 yet, I'm putting it in as missing for now until you go back and get an 80 or above. Okay. Any questions on that? Type it into the chat to me right now. I think that I made the instructions really clear if you read them in the assignment for yesterday. Anybody got questions? Okay. Then let's get moving here. All right. I got 17 people in class, not counting myself, and I see 11 people on the Nearpod. So if you are not on the Nearpod, look in the chat, and I have posted for you the code that you should be on. Okay. Okay. Like, you're fooling no one by not doing your work. Okay. You're just literally failing 6th grade, and you're going to start again next year. Okay. Just saying. All right. So answer on your Nearpod here. First one. Okay. I would draw a vertical number line on this. Okay. What I mean by that is, like, draw it up and down. Okay. The difference in elevation between the lowest elevation in Louisiana and the lowest elevation in California. So I would draw my number line something like this if I'm you. And then I would put 0, like, I don't know, here. And then I would put Louisiana and California, and then I would figure out what the difference is. Okay. Turn the names off, and then that way I can see what you're doing. Again, I would be putting it up and down. Some of y'all have your number line left and right. This is elevation. It should be up and down. Draw it up and down. Yeah, why? It's right there. It's in the chat. Oh, well, that's the code. And you just go to this link right here. All righty. So you should have a vertical number line up and down. Okay. That's the first thing you should have. Okay. But that's not the only thing you should have. Okay. After you have that on there, okay, can you unsubmit? Yeah. I think you can still click edit and fix it. All right. No, I think you can. You just gotta figure out how to. Okay, so it says, what is the difference? Okay, I'm not seeing a whole lot of y'all like actually answering it. All right, and I'm gonna show you how to do it, but I would like to see you attempt first. All right, so, all right, let me go back. All right, so here's my version. Okay, if you're like stuck, then fix yours to look like mine. Okay, so here's -8, right? That's Louisiana. And then here's California is -282. And that's going to be right here. Okay, -282. Now, on this, we need to see how far apart 8 and 282 are. Okay, so if you will think about it here, negative 282 is 282 away from 0, right? So if we're seeing what the difference is, we can just subtract those two. So 282, this is what you ought to be doing, minus 8. So I'm going to look at yours. When I look at yours, I want to see you're doing what I'm doing here, okay? I'm doing it on my screen just like you have to, okay? So if you're like, it's hard, well, it's hard for me too, okay? So right there. Okay, so the difference in elevation between the lowest in Louisiana and the lowest in California is 274. Why did I not add those? Because the 8 wasn't on the positive side, okay? So you need to make it on your slide, have that one right there, okay? All right, second part. All right, so number 2. Again, I'm wanting you to get down everything I get here, all right? So number 2 says, what's the difference in elevation between the lowest elevation in Wyoming and the lowest in Louisiana? Okay, so this is kind of a weird one. All right. So you don't have to erase California on yours. I'm just showing you which two we're looking at here. So Louisiana is -8. Wyoming is way up here at 3,099. Okay. So for B, you need to write down next the answer for that. What's the difference in those two elevations? Okay. So go ahead and write your answer for B if you've not yet. I see 2 right answers. Now, since one of them's on below the 0 and one's above, you're going to have to add them up. Have to add them up. All right, so see 2 right answers here. See how many more. See. This one over here, they need to add 3 right answers, 4 right answers. Okay, we got 4 people who are right. All right, so we go back to my student slide here. So 3,099 plus, so this is 3,099 above 0. Okay. Yeah, just do your best, Mary. If it looks bad when you're done, remember there's the other one you could go back and like make the answers look better on the other one. And you can just send me a message to look at the self-paced one later, okay? So don't worry about that. All right. If you go back and have to fix it after class, then just send me a message to look at the second one. Okay. That way you don't have to be like worried too much about it. Just do your best, in other words. All right. So 3,099 plus 8. Why plus 8? Because the distance on the positive side plus the distance on the negative side is going to give us 3,107. Why? Because you got to add all of this part right here plus the part below the 0. Okay. And then the third one says, what is the difference between the lowest elevation in California and in Colorado? Okay. Now, we just did one like that. So now this one should be a bit easier. Okay. So I want to see more people getting number 3 right because we've already done one like that. Okay. So California and Colorado. Okay. So Colorado is going to be like Wyoming was. It's going to be up here. So the lowest elevation in Colorado is actually 3,350 feet. The lowest elevation in California is going to be way down here at -282. So you need to find out how far apart those two are. Okay, so do the same thing you did on number 2, only do it for number 3 now. Okay, between 3,350 and -282. All right, so I'm looking for answers on number 3. All right, see 1, 2, right, 3, 4. Got 4 people right so far. Some people who are wanting no credit, no points on theirs. That's cool. If you want 0 points, then you can have 0 points. You earned it. I didn't give it. Your loss, not mine. That's correct, Gina. In fact, I actually passed 6th grade math like 29 years ago. So there you go. I have nothing to prove. All right, so we're going to take 3350 plus 282 since it's on the 2 different sides. And we're going to get the difference is 3,632 feet. Now, I need to be emphasizing y'all, we got to get better at putting our labels on that. I've not been super good at fussing at y'all about that because I'm trying to get y'all used to doing math online altogether. Okay. Briella, yes, if you'll go back and upload it, that will be fine. Okay. As long as you like send me in a picture of what you did on each problem, then I can still count that. All right. Okay. Any questions on this one before I move on? Okay. Um, so the next one we got the football team went forward 3 yards on first down, then lost 7 yards on second down. What integer represents where they are if they started at 0? Okay, so what you want to do on this one like this, is you want to, okay, I'm at 0. Now I'm going to go forward to 3. That's first down. Then they lost 7. Okay, so what you're going to do is I would come to the other side right here, and I would trace it back down 7 that way. Go down 7 that way and see where you end up at. And that's the answer on this one. Okay. All right. Now, the second one says she owed her sister $10, but then she paid her back 5. So then what we want to do here is we're going to trace it $10 down for the second one. So she goes down to $10. She pays her back 5. So then figure out where she's at now. What integer is that? Okay. Give you a second to get those two. See what we got. All right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 right answers on the first one so far. On the first one is not -3. A couple of y'all got -3. Look again. See where you end up at. If you got +3, then you went back 3, you would be at 0. Then how much more do you have to go back 7? All right, so got several people right now. And then the second one. Now, I see a +5 from somebody on the second one. She's not in the positives here. Think about where she is on the money line here. Okay. Okay, so let's see where we're at here. All right. So most people are keeping up, are pretty much there. So here's the way I would do this one. Okay. I might just highlight the line. Okay, so they're starting at 0. They went forward 3 yards. That's first down. Okay. Then they're going to go down 7 yards. Okay, so I'm gonna use a highlighter. Maybe this will help you. Okay, so we're gonna go down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can like literally trace it out there and see that you are at -4. Okay. All right. Francesca owed her sister $10. So she owes her $10. She's at -10. Okay. So she's here. She pays her back 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She still owes her $5. So since she still owes her $5, that's -$5. Okay. Any questions on that one? All righty. Let's make sure you got your answer fixed there. All right. Next one. All right. So the big thing that I was going to point out to you next here is the understanding of different intervals on a number line. Okay. And so I just want to kind of show you a few things on this. All right. So, for example, if I say that 0 is right here, I and I tell you that this is 20 right here. Okay. Then I say to you, well, what is this one right here? Well, if I've told you that, okay, then what you got to look at is, okay, this is 20. So how much is each little notch? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notches. So if it's 20 and I divide that by the 5 notches right there, then each one is worth 4. Okay, so that means that this right here must be at -4. All right, let me show you a couple more like that to give you an idea. This is one of the big deals on this unit, okay? That will be, if you don't get it, will really goof you up, okay? All right, I'm gonna try another one. So here's our 0 right here. Okay, I'm gonna say this is 12 right here. Okay. All right, now I want you to tell me, write it on your little screen here. Okay. I want you to tell me where my red dot is. So type on your little screen, right? Your screen right now. I want to see where my red dot is at what number. Notice what question I'm asking. My question for you is this. Look at my screen right here. I'm asking you, what is the value of that red dot? Where's the red dot at? Okay. And we'll see. This is really key skill. Don't overlook what I'm saying. Very important. Where is the red dot? Based on where I put it. What is the value of the red dot? I think some of y'all are like, oh, it's easy. And then now you're like, what the crap? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I see one right answer so far, two right answers so far. The answer is not -3. Okay. You did not, what you're not getting, I'm not saying you're doing it on purpose, but you listen carefully to what I'm saying. You have to see how much each one of these little notches are. I just said that this is 12. That means that this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That means this is -2, -4, -6. Okay. So if each interval is 2, that's -6. Okay. This is the kind of thing you've got to be able to do. Okay. Let's try again. I don't care if we have to spend more time on this. We've got to get this. Okay. All right. All right. I'm going to say this one's 25 this time. All right. I want to know the value of this blue dot right here. So right on your screen now, the value of the blue dot. I want to know the value of the blue dot. Okay, I see one, right? The value of the blue dot. All right, let me go back to my screen here. Look at my screen again, right here. All right, what is the value of the blue dot? This is 25 over here. So you got to see how much are the intervals here. How much is each one of the little notches? That's what that means. Then do it the other way. All right. And these are the kind of things not only do we have to do, but on that new site that I sent. Yeah, Gina, that's it. Good. All right, the site that I sent y'all called Legends of Learning, I got all kinds of little activities to help you practice these kinds of things. Okay, that's why I'm wanting you to do some of this. All right, so type it on your screen so I can see where are we here. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people are right. 7 people are right. Okay, we're kind of getting it now. Good. All right, let's do a couple more. Because this is super important to me that we can do this. All right. So you got to just trust me that I know what I'm saying, what I'm telling you. You got to be able to do this. Okay. I promise you, I'm not just making this up. All right. Okay. This is gonna be 30 this time. All right. And I want to know what is the value of the red dot. Red dot. Tell me what the red dot is on your screen now. You don't have to leave all of them on there. Just leave the last one we do. And I'll know you did it. So see what you're counting by first. Everybody see the red dot? I'll switch over to the screen where I can see what we're doing. This one right here. Yay. All right. So, okay. I think I confused some people here. All right. So each little notch on the way I've got it here, each notch 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. So those are threes. Okay. So therefore, this would be -3, -6, -9. Okay. Tell me what questions you got from that, because I think I stumped you on that one. All right. Everybody see what I did there? Look at it again. So these are threes. Okay. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Therefore, that means that -3, -6, -9. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. So what if I do like this? What if I didn't put 0 here? All right. I'm not going to put 0 this time. This time I'm going to put, here is 40. And here is 30. And I want you to tell me the green dot. What is the value of the green dot? Shelby, I think it was the 10th. You got to make sure you're not counting the 0 in there. I think that might have been, unless I miscounted. I could have miscounted. I don't think I did though. Oh, okay. My fault. I thought it was the 10th one. If that's what, yeah, if that's what I did, then that is my fault. All right. So tell me what the green one is here. All right. What is our green one here? Okay. I see one of them, right? And I see some funny stuff going on. Here's my screen again. So this is +40. This is +30. We don't have 0 on here at all. No 0. What you got to think here is this is 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. So I'm counting by 2. And I'll count backwards by 2. All right. So what we got here? All right. Kind of rough. Only a few people got this one. All right. So what we got here is if this is 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, this is 28, 26, 24. Okay. So what we got going on here is that's 24. All right. Now, yeah, because 0 is way over here somewhere. Okay. So what I'm getting at here is you got to be able to identify how much you're counting by. That's a key skill. Okay. If you need more help on that, I need to move on in the live lesson today, but if you need more help on that, that might be a reason to join the target time. Okay. All right. All right. So let's see. We got a lot of things on here that we may or may not get all to. If we don't get all the way through it, I might post a like second part of the lesson video or something. All right. Over the parts I didn't get to. We'll see. All right. So intervals on number lines. You got to be able to read and interpret number lines. Okay. So all right, knowing what each little mark is key. All right. So right here on this particular one, you got zeros right here and you got ones right here. So what you have to do to be able to see this is what is this divided into? Okay, so I got, well, that looks like that's at about half right there. So it looks like we're counting by fourths. Well, how am I getting that? Well, if I say, well, is it thirds? 1/3, 2/3, 3/3? No, it can't be halves. Can't be. So it's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4 is one whole. 1 and 1/4, 1 and 2/4, 1 and 3/4, 1 and 4/4, two wholes. 2 and 1/4, 2 and 2/4, 2 and 3/4, 2 and 4/4, three wholes. Okay. So therefore, what we would put on this one, and just mark it on yours, okay, is that A is a fraction. You'll see that is at 2/4, right? So that would be 2/4 or 1/2. I'm running it 2/4 first because I want you to see that it's actually technically counting by fourths. Okay, now decimal for B. Well, fourths as a decimal. All right. Remember that fourths is a decimal, 1/4. Okay, you can either get that to over 100 or you could divide 4 into 1.00. Once you do that division, that's going to be 0.25. Okay, so that means that for B, all right, we should have 1.25. Let me show you why. Okay, so we got one whole and then 1/4. So that's 1.25. Then C, all right, we got 2 and 1/4, 2 and 2/4, 2 and 3/4. So that would be 2 and 3/4. So when it says fraction, you can assume that also means mixed number. And then 3/4, you can do it like this, or hopefully you memorize it. That would be 2.75. Put those down on your answers. Okay, and then tell me if you got questions on how I got that. Okay, the conversions we did last unit. All right, and then I'm trying to show you that how to count that by fourths. Yeah, I understand. All right, any questions? Okay. All right, next one. Okay, and again, to understand many of the skills this unit, you have to be able to read and interpret number lines and graphs drawn different ways. Okay, so what I want you to do real quickly, we've gone through this a good bit. I'm just trying to help you firm up this skill a little bit. Go through on your screen and label this number line. So you got 0 and 20 on there. So there, notice here you're counting by twos. Okay, so then put your labels on there. 2, 4, 6. This is what you should be doing on yours. Okay. Maybe do yours without looking at mine for a second. All right. You could do one above, one below. That might help some. Like this. And then, you could like draw a line down there. Okay. So get that labeled and look and see how yours compares to mine. All right. So what I'm wanting you to see here is just getting some practice on labeling it with different intervals other than one. Okay. So try to get as much of that on yours as you can. All right. Ava, if it's freezing and you don't think that what I'm going to see looks like you did all of it, remember that there's another one you can go back and do student pace later. Okay. All right. Anybody need another second? Are you ready to move on? Okay. All right. Give you another second here. I do want to be done like at least by 10:50 or 10:55. Okay. I'm doing my best to not teaching math online is super hard. Okay. And I with only 2 days a week, it is why math takes way longer. Right. I teach social studies too. And my social studies class takes literally 35 minutes, whereas math takes us almost an hour every time. All right. All right. Anybody else? Can I check yours? Um, let me see. Uh, yeah, that was pretty good. All right, all right. Next one here. Again, we just got to get some practice on this. Once we get some practice, you're gonna find this not that hard. All right, yeah. No, because why? Uh, okay. All right, here we go. Oh, so we're doing the same thing here. Okay, so let's see. Let's count. First thing we gotta do is count our intervals. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Okay, so if we're going to negative 40 rather, and it's 4 intervals, how are we gonna figure out how much each is? We're gonna divide, right? So it's 40 of them, and we're dividing them by 4 because there's 4 intervals. That means each one is 10. Everybody see how we're getting that, right? Seeing how far apart they are and how many little notches tells you what to count by. Okay, so then we'll take a minute here to label this one. Part of why I started you with a little bit of a challenge with it, so you could see the need to really pay attention to what I'm saying here. Okay, so go ahead and label yours on the other side too. Definitely see if you can make sure you get the negative side down. Okay, you about 30 seconds on that. You can see, hopefully, you see that we're counting by tens there. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and label the negative side here. So when you're done with the negative side, you just make sure your negative side looks like roughly like mine, although maybe not as messy. This is the kind of thing where me not using my iPad makes it harder. All right, let's see what you got here. I'll try to get further on the negative side before I move on, okay? I'm a little less concerned with whether you get all the positive ones than the negative. All right. About 10 more seconds. Okay. All right, next one. All right, now this one is going to be a little different. All right, because what we got here is we need to figure out what is going on here. Well, if this is 0 and that's -2, the first thing I would do is I would think, okay, that is going to be halfway between. So my first thought is that's -1. Okay. So I want you, let's not get the whole thing done. All right, let's do this one, this one, this one, the one I just did, and that one. Okay. So get those right there labeled on yours. Why do I hide names? Well, just because I don't really want you to have to. Yeah, well, I mean, I have my different views on when and how I'm going to do stuff. Yeah, I get you. All right. Again, I'm wanting you to get the ones that I just marked there from the -2 to say +1. That's what I'm looking at on this. Right. Let's see what I got here. -1. Okay, -1. Assuming that's a +0.5 and +1, and that's a -1, then that would be right. Yeah. All right. Oops, I did not mean to go slide. Sorry. My bad. All right. So here's what I would have on mine. Oh man, I just messed it up. All right. So we're gonna have. All right. So we got -0.5. That's a point. -1, -1.5, -2. Then this would be 0.5 or 1/2. You could also have 1/2 there. All right, that would work. So something like that. Right. All right. Next one. All right. All right. Now, this is kind of like the one I did on that earlier. Got points between two integers. Okay. So right here, we don't have a 0. We got -4 and we got +4 and +5. Okay. So what we have going on here is, well, what are we counting by? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's tenths, right? So if you see here, that's 1 whole or 10 tenths. So each one of these would be a tenth. Okay. So you could write this like two different ways. All right. I'm going to show you both ways on this first one. You don't have to write both ways, but I'm going to show you both ways because I happen to have made the quiz we're going to take on Friday, and I happen to know that I have it both ways on that quiz. Okay. So you don't have to pay attention if you don't want to. You can just get it wrong, or you can pay attention and get it right. Okay. So 4 and 1/10, right, is like this or like this. Okay. All right. You go ahead and finish up the rest of them here, but this is 4 and 2/10 or 4 and 2/10, which would reduce to 4 and 1/5. Okay. Again, probably just go ahead and go through and do them with decimals is fine, but I wanted you to see it with fractions and decimals. Okay, so this is 4 and 1/10, 4 and 2/10, 4 and 3/10. Okay, Gina, so this is, notice your 4 right here. Okay, and this is the next whole number 5. What I'm saying is that each little notch is 1/10, right? 0.1 is the value of each little spot. Okay. So like this is 5.1 right here. This is 5.2 right here. 5.3, 5.4, 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, 5.9, Okay, so but all right, so then this is 4.2, 4.3, and so forth. Okay, so get those labeled. Okay. Again, the key to the whole thing is once you get this, then what we were doing like earlier was seeing how far apart they are becomes a lot easier, right? Is knowing where the different numbers are on the line is going to be the key. Okay. And that's the reason I'm spending so much time on that. All right. So hopefully, I think most of you had at least a pretty good start on that. All right. So let's see where we are here. Almost 16 out of 23. Okay. Now, I want to kind of start going over some examples of the types of questions that you're going to be expected to be able to do with this. Okay, so write your answer on this. And I happen to know that I've used number lines exactly like this one on the quiz I've got on Friday. So this is a good practice of that. So on yours, write down what S is. That's what I want to know. What is S? Okay, so write down what S is. Let's see what we're counting with. Okay, I see somebody's right here and somebody's not. Okay. So notice that on this one, we're counting by one. This one's actually counting by one. Okay. So don't overthink this. Look, this is 1, 2, 3, right? So this is -1, like that. Okay. So S on this one is going to be, all right. See, several people have corrected it here. So look again. So S on this one is going to be -3. See right there. S is -3. All right. T is +3. R is -5. And Q is -7. Okay. Any questions on that? Everybody see that that's -3. See why it's -3. Okay. All right. I'm just carrying it that you got the -3 one. Okay. All right. I did that one. All right. Now let's see what we got now. Okay. So here we have which point best represents -1. So which one of these is -1? So you just circle it. It's fine. All right. A, B, C, or D. Which one is -1? This is another type of, dude, we're going to be over every day in math. Okay. That's just how it is. All right. Which point on the number line represents -1? Okay. Go ahead and circle that one real quick. All right. Let's see what we got. All right. I would think we should be able to get this one right. All right. A little bit of some different answers here. All right. So let's see here. All right. So we're looking for -1 on here. All right. And so -1, so we're counting by ones here. So S, for example, is at 1, 2, T is at 3. Therefore, -1 is going to be here at R. Okay. So that's going to be R. And then Q is going to be at -3, -2, -3, -4. All right. All right. Now, here's one like the one I was trying to get you to count with earlier. And I've got one that's just got different numbers exactly like this on a quiz on Friday. Okay. So which number best represents the location of point A on this number line? So it's between 7 and 8. All these answers are between 7 and 8, though. So what is it counted by? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So everybody notice that these are in eighths here, right? See, I just counted that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So each little notch is 1/8. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. Okay. Everybody see what I did there? All right. I can go back over it if you need me to. There's only one correct answer on this. Okay, so watch again. All right. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is divided into eighths. Okay. So now this is 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. Therefore, that would be this answer right here. Okay. Questions on that? How I did that? Yeah. Everybody good on that? Okay. We're getting close to being done, but I'm showing you all the different kinds of things I need you to be able to do with this. That's why I'm doing it. Okay. All right. This one's a little tough. Okay, so let's look at this. A good estimation of point C. Okay, now how are we going to figure this junk out? All right, well, here, I'll change colors. I'm starting at 1 and there's 2. Well, what I should first notice is that that right there is going to be a half, right? So that's 1.5 or 1.5. So that means this is 2.5, 2.5, 3.5, 3.5. Okay, so everybody see that we're on the 0.5s right there. But it also notice that that C is not all the way to the 3.5. In fact, it looks like it's about halfway between 3 and 3.5. So my estimation, see, it's not all the way to 3.5. So it can't be that. Okay. The next thing you should do is look and see, well, it's certainly not between 2 and 3. Okay. So I'm going to eliminate that. Now, is it almost all the way to 4, like 3.9? No. Is it past 3.5, which is right here? No. Therefore, it's 3.25 because it is less than 3.5, but more than 3. All right. So give me some feedback here if you got a question on what I did. All right. Go ahead and circle the right answer there. All right. But just tell me real quick if you're like, I don't know what you did or something. All right. Everybody see how it's like I had it divided into halves, but it was halfway there. Right. I wouldn't put 3.25 and 3.3 as an answer there. Okay. The kind of answer that you're going to get there is this kind right here, where there's only one that would make sense. Okay. Questions? All right. And I think I'm probably on the slides where I was out of memory where y'all can't write on anymore. Can you write on it, Chloe? Okay. Yeah. So let me just go through these last couple here because because I'm on the free version of this, it ran out of memory and it won't let me do anymore. So there you go. All right. So it says, which is closest to 1/4 is what it says. All right. Is about 0.7. So the first one here, it says, which is closest to 1/4. Well, that would be this one right here. So A is closest to 1/4. Why? Because this is 1/2. That's 1 whole. So A is halfway between that. Yeah, you can't draw, Sage. I ran out of memory on making my slides. So I'm just showing you the last couple, okay? And then 0.7 here would be at about C. Why? Because this is about 3/4 right here. So it's got to be C is the only one that's close to that. Okay. And then F, when we're looking at F here, okay, is between 1.5 and 2, right? So it can't be that one. It's not really close to 1.5, it's closer to 2. So I'm going to eliminate this one. Then I'm going to look through. Okay. Now I'm going to count the little notches. So this looks like it's maybe tenths. So I'm going to try tenths. 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, 2. That actually is a little bit off, isn't it? Is that off? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that is right. Okay. So that means this is between 1.8 right here and 1.9 right here. Okay. So if this is 1.8 and that's 1.9, then what we're going to see is it's got to be between those two, which means it has to be this one. Okay. So that's kind of the idea of what we're doing here on those is getting the intervals down and then kind of just reasoning through them. All right. Let me erase this. And then it says point B. And what does that represent on the graph? Well, point B is going to be, all right, it's more than 2 and less than 3. Here's 2.5. So that's less than 2.5. That's less than 2.5. That is 2.5. And 2 3/2 will be 3.5. Therefore, it's got to be 2 3/4. Okay. All right. And then I think I'm on like the last one here. Okay. Point D on the graph here. Right. So point D is going to be, all right, well, we're at 0, 1. So it's between 1 and 2. Okay. Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4 fifths. Okay. So then from 1 and 1/5, 1 and 2/5, 1 and 3/5. So you find what the intervals are first. Then you start counting. So like right here, we know it's fifths now. 1/5, 2/5, 3/5. We know it's fifths. -1/5, -2/5, -3/5. Then A would be at -1, 1/5, 2/5, 3/5. Okay, so that's how you do those. Okay. All right. Now, that's going to be all here. All right. And so just know that, as we're going through the rest of the week, that's the skills we're working on. All right. Make sure that you do all of the, obviously the Nearpods, do the practice. There are points with that, and then there's a quiz on Friday. All right. So make sure your Nearpod is done and right. If you feel like I'm not going to like what you did, then you can go do the student pace one later. All right. See you guys later. Let me know if you need any help.